G'day folks, today I'm going to put together a 24-volt New Holland T7 tractor. First we're going to unbox it and show you all the parts. So this is the New Holland, unpacked and display all parts to see. Starting off with the wheels, front and rear, and the little caps to cover, the exhaust pipe, the 4 A-pillars for the roof, the steering wheel, the rear axle, the front axle and steering mechanism, all your bolts, screws, remote accessories. We have the rear mud guards, the seat, the side steps, the front bumper, the roof. We have the New Holland. This is how it comes in the box already, with the 2 motors attached inside. So I'll quickly give you a close-up on the controllers, motor, accessories inside. We have the 2 motors here, your controller, battery, quick easy connections, main power cable that you will connect once we have final assembly done. So this is your contents of your assembly pack, starting with the charger, a remote control, auxiliary cable, 2 little spanners to tighten the wheels. Very important, your spacers for your wheels, screws, washers, and instruction manual. Firstly, we will start by assembling the rear mud guards. Here and here.
2.
With the rear mud guards, we need to attach the cable for the lights. So, clip it in, like that. Small tug, make sure it's secure. Put it on, give it a gentle push down so it clips into place. So, we will repeat on this side. After we've assembled the mud guards, take a tip, turn it around, easier to work on. Now we're going to attach the screws to the mud guards here all along the allocated places. We will repeat on the other side.
2.
Once all the screws are in, securing the mud guards on the left and the right, we're going to move ahead and we're going to install the front axle and steering system. This is the steering shaft. We'll just bring that up, remove the nylock nut. We now have the steering system. So the steering system is secured in place. Like that. We'll drop that down into there. Give it a little push, making sure your steering is through the slot here, so you have movement on your steering like that. We will put the nylock on. With the tool supplied, we will secure the nylock and tighten that up to make sure the steering doesn't come loose. Give it a good old squeeze as much as you can. Try not to over tighten it or snap the plastic tool. Tight enough and it'll be fine. Now that we have that secure, we need to secure the steering mechanism. 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4, and another 4 on this side. Screw and Phillips screwdriver. Right, so I'm just busy finishing up the last 2 screws here of securing the steering mechanism. Last one going in into the slot there. Another tip is to use a screwdriver and not a power tool, because it is only plastic and you can risk the chances of damaging the plastic and pulling the threads, which means it wouldn't be secure. Right, we move on to the next step. These are the little side steps for the side. While the tractor is upside down, take the time and fit them now. You'll be securing them with a few screws from the bottom Once we turn it around, there'll be a few more on top. Right, let's fit them. Slide it in there, push it on over, and give it a little push to make sure the holes are all lined up and secured. Right, so we've secured the 2 steps nice and securely. Sometimes you might have to just give it a little push and a pull to line the holes up, but it's easy enough, you'll be able to do it. Now we will jump ahead while the tractor is still on its roof, and we will attach the front bumper and number plate. Okay, same as the steps, slide it in, give it a little push and clips into place, and we'll attach 2 screws here and then 3 more when we turn it over. Right, now that we have that secured, we will now put on the wheels. Take off the 2 nylocks. We'll grab a wheel. That would be the wheel. Front wheel, smallest. Big wheel at the back. When fitting it, you want to make sure you get the rotation right. So if you're putting it on that side, it shows the rotation facing that way. When you flip it over, the rotation will actually be facing the correct way. So when we're fitting it, we need the 2 bushings supplied in the pack that slide into there, has little locatings there, and then first, making sure your 2 bushings are still in place, slide the wheel on to the shaft, making sure that the wheels when you turn over are facing the right direction. We will now secure with another washer and nylock, thread it on, using the tools supplied, 2 of them, one on this side, one on the other side, and tighten securely. Right, so we have the front wheel secured. We will now move on to the back axle. That is the back axle. We will remove the 2 nylocks and put them down. We will now put the axle through the back of the tractor and lining up gently, just with a bit of a jiggle, a push, and she will go through. That is the axle through now, and we will now attach the motors and wheels after. Very important, 2 big washers. Once you've inserted the axle into place, we will slide 1, 2 washers on, and now we're going to install the motors. Right, so before I turn the tractor upside down, I just unplugged and removed the 2 motors because they do sit on the outside, not on the inside where you previously saw them. So we have the motor here with the 2 wires. You cannot get it wrong. The plugs go in one way and one way only. So let's start with that. We will gently slide the motor on and the cable through the body of the tractor to the inside, and gently line that up to that position, and we will repeat on that side. Right, we're on this side now, and we will repeat same with the cable system and sliding onto the axle shaft, cable going through the body, and gently just prying the motor into place. We will now fit the rear wheels. Right, so I have the back wheel, and there will be 2 more of the bushings left, 1 for this wheel and 1 for the wheel on the opposite side. Making sure you follow the same thread pattern. Grab the right wheel, that shaft will go into here, making sure we line the motor up. So once you've got the wheel on, gently turn it, making sure it fits snugly into place. Then we're going to take the little bush and we're going to slide it over, lining it up with the 2 slots and making sure that is nice and snug. We will then go ahead and take a flat washer and the nylock that we had taken off, gently put that into place, making sure the threads are on, and now we will repeat on the other side and tighten up. Right, so we now have the wheels on. I'll show you a close-up of what it should look like. Axle through, big washer, motor, wheel, and then we have the bush inside there with the flat washer, the nylock, and we're now going to tighten up the nuts. Right, so I've now tightened up all the wheels. If you have doubt, double check and always double check again. Make sure the wheels are tight, all your screws are into the correct slots. Make sure the steering is tight, the nylock is tight for the steering system mechanism. Double check yourself. Now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it over onto the wheels and then we'll start assembly on the top. Right, now we have our tractor the right way around, and as you can see the wheels were facing backwards. Once you flip it over, the tread pattern is facing forward, same with the back ones. Now I'm going to give you a close-up on the wiring here and show you how to reconnect all the wiring. You start off with the motor on the left. That is your wiring here. They both go into the same plug. What you can do, pull one. The plug can only go one way. It can't go that way, it will not fit. Clip it into place. That's for the left motor. That is for the right motor. Same again, only one way. Final instruction there. That is the power cable from the battery and controllers powering up your motor and your batteries. Also, can only go in one way. It cannot go that way. Correct way. In, on, that's secure. If you want to check that, you can push the power button and you should have power and your tractor starting up. Right, we've now done the wiring and connected all the power cables and motors. Don't forget, once we turn it over, we still need to put in the screws into the steps, the front bumper and the step on the other side. That is 3, 6, 9 screws in total. Do not forget them. Alright, so we will finish assembling that. Now we'll move on to the roof and put all the A-pillars on, and then we will start attaching it to the tractor itself. Okay, we have the roof and all the components. Easy enough to fit, you can't get it wrong. Listed on the pillars, it is marked with A, and if you look along here, you will find A, there's A there, and it can only attach one way, so that would be the wrong way. A there, and it slots in to the A hole there, and then we will do B, C and D accordingly. As you can see here, we have D attached there, so D would obviously then go into that slot, and then we will do the rest and put in the screws. And this is what it should look like when it's done, with the wing mirrors, front lights, back lights and the back A-pillars. We will now attach that to the tractor and the exhaust pipe next. Right, so we will firstly install the exhaust pipe. Not that way, otherwise your kid's going to choke on fumes. Haha, only jokes. Electric vehicle. Let's make sure we turn it around and point it out. Next, we have the roof to go on once we've installed the exhaust pipe, and we will gently slot it into the correct position. Sometimes it can take 2 people just to line it up and push it firmly to secure it down, and we will attach it with the screws to hold it into place. Okay, so we're moving on to almost final assembly. Most important, the steering wheel. We will attach the cable there. Also, it can only go one way. Nice and snug and secure. We're going to feed the cable all the way in so it doesn't get pinched or damaged. Just feed it in all the way like that. And then we're going to slide the steering wheel onto the shaft and we're going to attach with a screw and a nut. Give it a good push down, making sure you can see the hole through there and there, lining up the hole in the shaft. And then we're going to slide in the bolt from the side. Constantly just adjusting a little bit to make sure it will go all the way through, like that. You have space for the nut to go on over there, and we'll just slide it on like that. Taking your screwdriver from this side and gently turning it until the screw starts going through the nut. And make sure not to over tighten it, just nip it up, and that will be secure. Okay, now we're going to put in the chair. Make sure when inserting the chair you have two little ears that need to catch in the inside. I'll give you a close-up on how to install. Bringing the chair in, making sure you line the slots up like that. And then pushing it down, and then if you come around to the back, once that's all in and secure, with one of the screws we're going to attach in here into the chair, holding the chair in place. So we move on to the final steps now with installing the hubcaps. That's the large one for the back wheel, small one for the front. It has 1, 2, 3, 4 little locating ears that we're going to put on here, and make sure you line them up with the holes. Once they're lined up, give them a small whack. Okay, so we're moving on to the last steps now. We're going to install the hubcaps for the wheels, large one for the back, small one for the front. I'll show you this side and then we'll move on to the other side. Make sure you line the 4 little ears up with the 4 slots into here. I'll show you. Once you have that in place, little smack, gently, not too hard, and that will secure it in place. I will now move and do the rest. Okay, so we're now ready to program the remote and test the tractor. You will need 2 AAA batteries, and you will install them into there, and then we're going to now program the tractor to make sure the remote works accordingly. Okay, so to program the tractor, that is the remote, have your buttons M there, P and S. Your mode button is the one we're going to be using. We're going to power on the tractor, push and hold the M button, and that should be programmed forwards, backwards. We have left, right, left. That's your tractor assembled. Enjoy. It's your charger, remote, aux. I'll quickly show you how to insert the charging cable for charging purposes.
2.
So with your charger, you have your standard 3-pin plug into the wall, your small pin charging port there. Charging port is allocated over here. You can see the sticker. That will gently slide it into the charging port. Plug it into the wall, turn it on. The light will turn red when charging, and when it's fully charged green, then you know to unplug it.